This week we're going to highlight the history of the price changes for January soybean futures on the date that the USDA releases its supply-demand report for December. We're also going to take a look at updated trends in outstanding export sales of U.S. beans, take a look at what's going on in Brazil in terms of weather trends, and wrap things up with a long-term review of November soybean futures. Hi, this is Brian Basting with Advanced Trading. Let's talk about the soybean market. We moved into December, and of course that means it's time to focus on the weather trends in Brazil. But before we get to that, we're going to highlight the history of the price changes for January soybean futures when the USDA releases its December supply-demand report. Let's take a look at that history. Again, this chart shows the change in January soybean futures from the previous day on the date that the USDA releases the December supply-demand report. Notice there's been some years where there hasn't been much change, but the other years we've seen some significant price moves. That's why it's critically important for you to work closely with your trusted risk management advisor to have your risk management positions in place prior to the release of the report. Let's shift gears now to demand trends here in the U.S. Let's take a look at the pace of unshipped export sales. Now what the slide shows is the U.S. unshipped export sales of soybeans here as of the third week in November. Notice we're slightly above last year but below the previous 3 years. We're looking here as we highlight the key message. Our bias on near-term U.S. soybean exports has fallen slightly from 70 to 90 million bushels per week last week to 65 to 80 million bushels per week this week. Let's now shift our focus to South America, specifically looking at Brazil. Brazil being the largest soybean producer in the world. Let's take a look at where those beans are produced in Brazil. Now north to south here, planting has progressed the last couple months. Mato Grosso, planting is now completed in the north, but they're still planting beans in that far southern state of Rio Grande do Sul. Let's highlight that a little bit further here. We're looking here again, Brazil is complete. Rio Grande do Sul is about 69% done. Nationwide, 90% of the beans are planted. So again, maturity-wise, during the month of December, those beans in Mato Grosso will set pods and fill pods first. Let's now take a look at the weather trends for Brazil. Our slides this week, as usual, are courtesy of T-Storm Weather. Again, critical month for pod set and pod fill in northern Brazil. Really not too wet or too dry up in Mato Grosso. Here in the far south, however, it is going to be wet. So maybe a stop and go a little bit on that planting progress in Rio Grande do Sul, but nothing serious delays at this point. Up in the northeast, a little bit dry. Let's take another view of that. Anything below that purple line here on this map is going to be wet the next 14 days here. So really looking at some wet conditions in the south. Not any extreme conditions up in Mato Grosso. In that northeast part of the country, a bit dry. One more way to quantify it here. Again, all that green area, dark green, is going to be wet in the south. As we move further north in Mato Grosso, mixed conditions but close to normal, and the northeast is going to be a bit dry. Let's wrap things up this week looking at trends in November soybean futures. Now November beans, as we tape here on Tuesday for 2025 again, are trading near $10.05 a bushel. Now it's not too early to think about 2025 production in terms of risk management. We strongly encourage you to work closely with your trusted risk management advisor to get your positions in place. Now if you'd like more information, please feel free to contact us at 800-664-2321. We'll put you in contact with our risk management consultants who'll be happy to visit you at your convenience. And remember, we upload every Wednesday. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and never miss an upload. And make sure to join our ATI Pro Media team shortly before 11 a.m. on Tuesday, December 10th, for a live update regarding the USDA report. Then we'll follow that up at 1:30 p.m. Central Time with a detailed market analysis. Thanks a lot. Have a good week.